Hello everybody, have a brand new knife on the table for us today. This right here, we are taking a look at the Kershaw Kapsule. And so the capsule right here, being a brand new release, this one Kershaw brought to the market with Jens Anso as the designer. And what we have here is a relatively new design for Kershaw, something I haven't really seen before, really by too many manufacturers. But what we have right here is an OTF knife that is manually operated, so there is no spring action in here. There is a blue button here on the frame, and once you press that, you just push the blade out of the handle like so. So it is a very small utility knife. We can see from the overall length, it's almost like it was designed to be California legal, for the California legal auto market, because the blade is right under 2 inches long. That being said, however, there are no restrictions for this knife in that regard because this is not an automatic opener. So it has this button that presses in and out. And if you've ever used a utility blade that's very similar to this action, that's essentially what it reminds me of. So once the blade is extended, this button locks it into place and it cannot retract until, again, you press this button down and put the blade back into the handle. So it's kind of an interesting design, but the construction of this knife, if we take a close look, the handles here, these are made of a plastic material, or GFN, glass reinforced nylon. We do have a deep carry pocket clip, and this is a one position only clip. And what I noticed when taking this knife out of pocket, when you want to grab it, your finger does tend to hit the button as you're pulling it out of pocket. So that, I don't think it's really an issue, but it is something that maybe feels a little bit disconcerting because as you're pulling the knife out of your pocket, you are depressing a button and the spring on there a little bit. So it's not like the blade could come out because that action, it would be an action to draw the blade in, but it's just something I thought I would mention because it's something I immediately noticed upon trying to pocket this knife. So being a nice little OTF right here, I think the style, it definitely gets style points. We do have the plastic handles, and we can see in between the two black handles there is a blue layer sandwiched between, and there is a lanyard holder on there. So you can put a lanyard on this, you could put it on a keychain, maybe a bit too large for a keychain, just depending on what you attach it to, but it's there as an option. And inside of the handle right here, you can see where the blade slides back and forth. And there is kind of a steel track right inside of there, as you can see, to hold the blade in place. And that does add a little bit to the weight of the knife. And now the knife is not heavy by any means. It comes in at 2 ounces. But I'm going to compare it to some of the other knives on the table right here because these are also small Kershaw knives, and these are all automatic. And so you might be surprised. My natural thought was that the automatics here, being aluminum and steel construction, would be much heavier than the capsule, but the actual weights actually surprised me a bit. But let's take a look at the blade right here. We can see this small spear point blade. It looks like it might be double-edged, but this top edge right here is a false edge. It's not sharpened. And of course that would help you if you were using it as a utility knife. You could put your thumb here on the blade. Right here there's a little bit of jimping in place, and it feels actually kind of nice, but it's hard to grip because of this natural guard in the handle. Your thumb doesn't really want to go in there. So I'm not sure how useful that's going to be. On the front side of the blade, we do have the Kershaw logo very small on there. And on the reverse, we can see it says the model number, the 1190, and that this is an 8CR 13 MOV blade. And so again, not too surprising, this is Chinese production. And being a manual opener, there's no issues with having this item made in China. But definitely a cool little design, and this is one of the ones I've been looking forward to for this year for Kershaw. So for 2021, I think quite a few of their little Chinese designs actually look pretty neat. So this is not going to be the last Kershaw I pick up this year for their new releases. So keep an eye out on the channel. I'm definitely going to be looking for more of these pretty soon. But again, let's make a real quick comparison. We can compare this to the Kershaw Launch series that I have here on the table, both size and weight. Right here we have the Kershaw Launch 4, and so here's the nice teal version, and I think it kind of matches pretty well with that blue button on the capsule. But let's do a size comparison side by side overhead. There we go. So again, right in the same wheelhouse. If you're looking at overall size, it's super similar in hand. The Launch 4 is a little bit longer, but the capsule has a wider body. Let's take a look at the weight. So the Launch 4 right here weighs in at 1.94 ounces. And the Kapsule, in comparison, weighs in at 2.05 ounces. So the Kapsule is heavier than the Launch 4. Let's just do a quick weight comparison with all of them. We have the Launch 10 right here, 1.82. The Launch 9, I believe this one is. Hard to keep track of them all. 1.6. This one is the lightest of the bunch. 1.6 ounces. And the Launch 12 is 1.95. So at 2.05 ounces, the Kapsule here is the heavyweight of the bunch. But that being said, these are very minute differences. I don't know if that's going to make a difference to anybody. But again, let's do some more side-to-side comparisons. We have the Kapsule and the Launch 10. This is the one with that crazy hawkbill blade. Let's just lay it out. Right there, again. Side-by-side view. Thickness, very similar. You know, really no complaints there. The Launch 9 here is a smaller knife. It's one of the smallest launches, I think. And again, very similar size-wise. Check out thickness there. Almost like I'm playing a broken record, because they're also comparable, which is really nice. And I'm glad that I have a lot of these Launch series just to make comparisons of. And the Launch 12 being a little bit longer in the handle, but still, let's take a quick look right there. So we can see the length difference. Kind of hold it tip to tip, and we can see, yeah, the Launch 12 does have a little bit longer of a handle. I think the advantage for the Kapsule here is not only in the price, but just the width of the handle. Maybe make it a little bit easier to grip onto and to use. So that's kind of nice. And just out from left field, I'm going to make another comparison. So we have the Kapsule for $30 and the Microtech Mini Trudon. So take a look at these two guys together. And again, the width is very comparable for these two. Blade length, very comparable for these two. So take a look at that. Nice and shiny, both stone-washed blades, very well done. Take a look at the thicknesses. You know, I almost feel guilty comparing the two, because of course this knife right here, you know, is like what? Almost 10 times the price? Well, not 10 times the price, but it's more expensive. So you can see the length comparison there. But I think it makes a valid comparison. Stonewashed blades, similar thickness, similar width. You know, the weight's probably similar as well. Let me throw the Mini Trudon on the scale. We are coming in at 2.2 ounces, so it's a little bit heavier than the Kapsule. But still a really cool comparison. Wanted to share that with you guys. This particular one, the Kapsule, I picked up at River's Edge Cutlery. I also ordered a cool little patch to go with it. So again, I always appreciate, they usually send a lot of cool swag, you know, with their packages. So this is of course not a sponsored video, but hey, if you send me a sticker, you know, or something like this, I'm going to throw it on the table. Love me some knife swag. You know, that's the way to my heart. But the Kapsule itself does impress for the most part. When the knife is open, okay, let's look at the downsides. When the knife is open, you know, there is some wiggle in the blade, but it's an OTF. You know, OTFs have that. That's just how it works. I mean, even the Mini Trudon here is not perfect. You know, you can probably hear it more than you can see it, but there is some play in that blade. Whereas, so same thing on this one. Maybe a little bit more, of course, than the Mini Trudon, than the Microtech, but it's there. The blade itself is sharp. It's not really razor sharp. The tip isn't quite as pointy as I would like it to be, but it's functional. You know, I'm going to strap it up after this video is done, and I'm sure it'll work just fine. So that's really the only downsides there. The fact that they included a pocket clip, I really appreciate that. I think every knife should have a pocket clip as an option, because of course, if you don't like it, you can just take it right off. You know, and not including one from the start, you know, it doesn't even give you that option. But I love the modern design. You know, definitely the Kapsule here. I think it might have been named, if you remember those Kapsule games you played as a kid. You put a quarter in the machine, you turn the knob, and the toy comes out. This could kind of fit in one of those machines. And I think in Japan those are actually very popular. And given that Kershaw is, you know, Kai, a Japanese company, I think that might have influenced the name somewhat for this little tiny knife. But far be it from being a toy. It's definitely a working knife. As long as you make sure that button is properly locked in when you're using it, it is not going anywhere. It's not gonna magically close on you. So I'm not concerned about that. But thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions now about the Kershaw Kapsule, feel free to let me know in the comments below. Very happy to share this knife with everybody. And again, thank you for watching. Have a great day, and bye-bye.